rumble of the discourse. We've taken an abandoned concrete factory at the margins of the declining American empire and repurposed it into a battleground where 19 separate entities from across the political spectrum enter the discourse one by one and do battle to determine who controls the narrative force of the discourse. I hope you'll join me, your Southern Gothic futurist host, dirtgod Raven Mac, for each and every episode of Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Here we are at the Catbird Arena. This is your boy, dirtgod Raven Mac. We are in week 6 of our Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. We've had 5 weeks of folks coming out here attempting to accumulate points towards next week's 7th week finale. Folks have been accumulating points over the course of 5 weeks according to the methods you have seen here. And tonight actually will be folks who have 1 through 4 points. Let's go back to last week and I'll show you the end of what happened last week. We had the Unabomber and the Legacy Blue Check were in. And Legacy Blue Check actually won the Fall 2022 series, and then he wins last week, beating the Unabomber, so he got himself further up these standings. Let's take a look at these standings now as they stand. You can see the Twitter Communist is at the top. That Legacy Blue Check now is in second, and again, he won this thing in the Fall 2022 series. Police State and Reply Guy are right there, and Police State won it in the Winter 2023 series, so both of our previous winners are at the top of the leaderboard. Elon Musk, you can see the other folks. So tonight we are going to be having folks who have 1 through 4 points. Talk to my boy, my producer Bob Dabalina, and we're figuring 5 points is the cutoff. Like if you have 5 or more points, you're guaranteed to be in next week's finale. 4 points, you'd probably be cutting it close. So anybody coming out tonight is going to need to be scoring points to get into next week's finale. They come out in reverse order. Let's go ahead and go to the ring and see what's going on. Our referees this evening are going to be the National Guardsman and the not an FBI agent. So the not an FBI agent who was on that leaderboard, he is in the referee mode tonight with the National Guardsman. And coming out first is Greg Abbott, governor of Texas. Of course, I mentioned last week in the magical reality of Catbird Arena and Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse, even though Greg Abbott is paralyzed in real life and bound to a wheelchair, we are not ableist here. He can walk, talk, stand, and he can answer for the discourse, of which he is always a big part. And Zoe Zephyr coming out. Zoe Zephyr, Montana state politician, trans woman, expelled from the state house there. I'm not sure if she would be considered an actual member anymore then, I guess. Technically, probably not a member, but they won't let her back. So we've had that happen in Montana and Tennessee this year. Abbott goes right after Zoe Zephyr. Again, all these folks need to get some points to make next week's finale. I think Abbott is sitting at around 2 points, so he's close to making it. Zoe Zephyr has 1 point from her one appearance, so she definitely needs to get a few eliminations. Of course, Final Four, get those bonus points. You got to assume anybody who makes our Final Four will be in next week's finale. Big kick there by Zephyr on Abbott. Not an FBI agent moving that ladder around. Of course, there's 7 ladders in and around the ring. They represent the American meritocracy myth that you can climb to any level you want, even though that's a complete fucking lie. And we get a buzzer, and here comes Glenn Greenwald, Brazilian-American journalist, I guess you could call him. Technically, he is a journalist, although a lot of journalists who are successful journalists now have moved towards grifterdom, and I say that across the political spectrum. Greenwald in there, and Zephyr and Abbott get a tag move on him, and there's a pin, only a 2 count, and then Abbott right after Zephyr. So again, everybody coming out is going to be wanting to stay in there, not only stay in there, but get some points, eliminate some folks. And Greenwald with a 2 count on Abbott, they're going to want to get some points for eliminating people and definitely try to make that Final Four. And we're coming up on a buzzer. Coming out now, Senator Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, Vermont senator, already said he's not running for president. He's going to support Biden. I don't see why he wouldn't. They didn't really let him not support Biden in 2020. Ran the old con job on him. Of course, 2016, he was supremely conned. And I'm not a Bernie bro by any means. I just feel like a big contributor to how we keep getting these lesser of two evils and a Biden-Trump running again in 2024 feels like a nightmare happening again. Neither one of those guys deserve a vote from anybody. The only way either one of them can actually look good is to compare themselves to each other. But Sanders over the top rope, he is gone. So Bernie will not be making our finale, I don't think. And we get a buzzer, and here comes Katie Porter. Katie Porter, Congresswoman from California, has 1 point so far, so she's only got a point. She's going to have to do some damage to stay in this thing. And entering early, like, Abbott, Zephyr, Greenwald, Porter, all these guys need to get points, and they entered very early, so they're not likely to get those bonus points at the end, to be honest. That's a long ways to go. 27 people total. We've seen 5 come in, so we still got 22 people to come out here. It's a long, long rumble of the discourse. Greenwald just punching Porter in the head. Everybody else kind of congregating around. We get a buzzer, and let's see who's going to join, and it's Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, former Hawaiian representative, now pundit, television talking head. And she stands there and tries to look pretty for a minute. Abbott with a 1 count on Greenwald. Gabbard threw one of those briefcases out. We also have 23 briefcases full of Super PAC money all around the ring. So there's a lot of money, a lot of mythology involved in the discourse. And we've got 5 folks in there. Generally speaking, with these events, we'll see 7 or 8 people at a time, but folks steadily eliminated, steadily coming out. And here comes the Super Blue Check. Former editor, Jezebel, contributor, Atlantic Monthly, Harper's, New York Times columnist, Super Blue Check, she's out there. Proud mainstream feminist. So we've actually got 4 women out there now. Greg Abbott, Glenn Greenwald, homosexual man. Zoe Zephyr, trans woman. Katie Porter, Tulsi Gabbard, Super Blue Check. So the beginning of the discourse always starts out, as usual, a bit diverse, and as we've seen previous weeks, it tends to narrow itself down to a few white male perspectives by the end, and that's not by design. Me and Bob try to encourage this diversity, but it's just, well, here comes the ghost of Harry Belafonte. He made an appearance after his death, had some radical agenda to still get off his chest, a few things to tend to here upon the earth, and he got a point or two, and now he's out here showing up tonight trying to make the final of the discourse. I wish him well. Harry Belafonte, of course, a very, very progressive man during his life. Tulsi Gabbard fighting Zoe Zephyr, and Gabbard is out there on that apron. That's a dangerous spot. She gets back in. And there's a slam on Greenwald by Katie Porter. And she goes for the pin. Only a 2 count, slow on that 3 there. And we got a buzzer, and it's the mom blogger. The mom blogger, of course, representative of that mom blogger trend. One of the more prominent mom bloggers died this past week from suicide. We have a mom blogger in there. The age of blogs is over, so these people have shifted to different ways to represent themselves, to try to cash in on the thing. Of course, their children get older and become resentful of them writing about them all the time. And Super Blue Check eliminated by Greg Abbott, I think, was the one who gets the elimination there. So Super Blue Check is out. Greg Abbott's on that apron. He gets back in. And we get a buzzer, and his first-class shithead and transphobe Matt Walsh, leader of the transphobic movement to just eliminate trans folks, to be honest. Matt Walsh is absolutely insane. Of course, some very interesting comments. He usually hit. Harry Belafonte's over that top rope, and he is out. So Harry Belafonte, the ghost of Belafonte, has been eliminated. Thankfully. God bless. Godspeed. May he rest in peace, and his memory be a blessing. Zoe Zephyr over that top rope, but Matt Walsh, of course, is one of the key figures in this trans agenda that's sort of to make it illegal to be trans. Mom blogger almost pinned Zoe Zephyr. Tulsi Gabbard over the top rope, Matt Walsh right there with her, and here comes the Tech Lord. And Matt Walsh got tossed. So Matt Walsh is gone. His transphobic agenda not likely to make the final of the discourse next week. Thank goodness. And you know, I talked to my producer Bob Dabalina, and I really wish I could make some of these people not be part of this discourse, but this is the discourse. I've lobbied against characters, tried to keep people from being in this thing. Of course, I famously even entered it myself to fight the subscribe blue check last season. You know, this is the nature of the discourse. It's ugly. There are some ugly people boosted in the discourse. Tech Lord's a big part of that. He's in there just kick Tulsi Gabbard. Tech Lord boosts some of these voices. And here comes Ben Shapiro. Speaking of idiotic voices, little Ben Shapiro coming out. This guy's about 5'2" and 112 pounds soaking wet. So he joins the melee. Let's reset the field here. We've got Governor Texas Greg Abbott in there, Zoe Zephyr, Montana State politician Glenn Greenwald, California Congresswoman Katie Porter, Tulsi Gabbard, the mom blogger, the Tech Lord, and Ben Shapiro. So we've got a full ring going at it right now. It's 8 folks in there. And there's a pin, and the Tech Lord has eliminated Greg Abbott, so he is gone. He may have gotten an elimination or two. He may be able to sneak into next week's finale. And we get a buzzer, and coming out is Tennessee politician Justin Jones. Of course, he was famously expelled from the Tennessee State House. Zoe Zephyr in there, 2 count from Ben Shapiro. Justin Jones, of course, expelled because of their protest gun legislation in Tennessee. And some state houses are just straight up expelling people. And I had the pleasure this past weekend of going down to North Carolina, and there's a pin, Ben Shapiro eliminated by the Tech Lord. So the Tech Lord is taking some folks out. Had the pleasure of going to North Carolina, and like the African American influence on a lot of towns in North Carolina makes it very pleasant in a lot of places. Just pleasant environment. Glenn Greenwald got eliminated there. But then the politics of North Carolina is another one that's becoming very tilted white. And it's just a strange thing to see, man, because most of these little towns, little cities, most people just want to enjoy their life. Really, that's all they want to do. And like a lot of this politics, the trans stuff, the guns, like it's not, people aren't fired up about these things necessarily. They just want to be safe and live a good life. That's all. So the Proud Boy comes out. He came out while I was rambling to you about going to North Carolina last weekend. And we get a buzzer, and here comes the Do Your Own Researcher. Of course, he was originally on this series a year ago as a Joe Rogan podcast fan. Eventually started his own podcast. He is a Do Your Own Researcher. He wants you to do the research. Wants you to look into things. Whatever you may think happened, he wants you to do some research. And usually that research involves the internet, not a library. You're not digging into actual source material. You're just watching videos on YouTube mostly. Glenn Greenwald's still in the ring, hadn't left, and not an FBI agent beating on him. They're trying to get him out of there so he doesn't interfere with the remaining participants. And we get a buzzer, and speaking of diversity, here comes the lady cop. Cops can be brown women too. So the lady cop is out, joins things here. Let's see, we actually have 5 women and 3 men out there, so leaning towards the woman. Lady cop with a nice dive on Katie Porter there. Justin Jones over the top rope, and Katie Porter out there with him, but she comes back in, and he follows her in. And Zoe Zephyr's been out there for a while. She came out one of the first 2, and she's still in there. I don't think she's eliminated anybody, though, so she's got to get some points here. And a buzzer. Who we got now? Oh, it's Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. Of course, when Kevin McCarthy got Speaker of the House, Matt Gaetz was instrumental in negotiating some of the ridiculous things they did, and they're really trying to have this budget default to try to cut what they call entitlements, which is just social support on some basic levels. They're really willing to make it Lord of the Flies out here and cut the safety nets out and just do what you will. If you don't think that's going to make crime go up, you're an idiot. So it's sort of the thing. You cut those safety nets, then you have to increase the police presence as well, because crime will go up because people are going to be desperate. And here comes Vice President Kamala Harris. People be desperate, so like you end up spending just as much money on the police state that you would have if you had just supported people in the first place. I think that's what people lose on the... And there's a pin on Zoe Zephyr. Zoe Zephyr pinned by the Do Your Own Researcher. I think that's what people missed with the defund the police, and it's not the best phrase for it, defund the police. It wasn't. That's kind of a reactionary title for the movement, but really it's not about anything more than taking all the money given to the police and giving it to things that actually help people. Alright, we get a buzzer, and we're going to have 11 people in here now. Let's see who this one is. This is Tim Scott, senator from South Carolina, contemplating that presidential run. Man, Trump would eat him alive if he actually does announce. I think they're waiting for him to announce it. Anyways, we got Katie Porter is the longest one out there, congresswoman from California. Tulsi Gabbard, the mom blogger, the tech lord, is out there still. Justin Jones, that Tennessee state politician, the Proud Boy. Do Your Own Researcher, Lady Cop, Matt Getz, Kamala Harris, Tim Scott. So we got got a senator, a couple representatives, a couple state politicians, pundits. Really, this is the nature of Monday Night Rumble at a Discourse. We got characters from all over the political spectrum, both real and unreal, going at it here. Now we're going to get a 12 folks in the ring at once, man. This is crowded. Here comes that critical thinking punk. And I've come in recent interactions with folks, seeing the gentrification of certain places near me, Richmond and Charlottesville, and just wealthy punks. I think I would rather have a poor Trump person live next to me than a wealthy punk. Wealthy punks are just some real pieces of shit. The disconnect involved. They're just like quirky consumers for the most part. They just buy anything they want because they're wealthy, but they consider themselves not a part of the problem. And now we got the bootlicker. Man, we're up to 13 folks in the ring at once. I don't think, Bob, have we had this many at once before? This seems like a lot, buddy. Well, we don't keep stats on that. Well, 13 folks in here. Critical Thinking Punk and the Bootlicker and the Proud Boy all going at it. And there's a pin on the Critical Thinking Punk. The Proud Boy eliminates him. So that Critical Thinking Punk, I guess the Proud Boy doesn't like wealthy punks either. He's gone. And there's a pin on the mom blogger. Justin Jones eliminates the mom blogger. So she is out, and I do not think she might have eliminated a person or two, but I don't think she did much. So again, these folks that are in here, and we have Marjorie Taylor Greene coming out now. These folks that are in here, they got to make that final four and get those bonus points, or eliminate a handful of people, and I'm talking 2 or 3 people. And Kamala Harris tossed. She's gone. And Matt Getz just sort of climbing that ladder and sort of kicked off somehow. I don't know what happened there. It looked like the Do Your Own Researcher had a hand in it, but I'm not sure. And now he's up on that ladder, and he falls off face first. And we got a buzzer. And it's Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. He's only gotten 1 point this series. Been in there a lot of weeks, but only 1 point. Once again, Ron DeSantis is more bark than bite, it seems. He's talking about shutting down the monorail down there in Florida. He's going to shoot his state in the foot and ruin things with Disney World. Really, there is no... Talk about lesser of two evils. You're talking about a global corporation and a wannabe fascist dictator. And there's a pin on the bootlicker, 1 count only. He kicks out. Another buzzer, another entrant. New York City Mayor Eric Adams, always in the news. New York's, of course, the home of a lot of media powerhouses, and Eric Adams has been always more than apt to show his ass. Long tradition of New York City mayors doing that, having a bigger national presence than they probably should. So again, we're up to 12 people in the ring. 12, and I've got 3 more to come out. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Of course, the final 4 will get those bonus points. Buzzer and coming out now, Dark Brandon. Proud Boy got pinned in there. I didn't see who did it. Bob, you'll have to make note of who did it. Give the right points out there. Proud Boy eliminated. This is Dark Brandon comes out. Of course, Dark Brandon, the meme side of Biden. Dark Brandon joins Eric Adams, Ron DeSantis. And there's a pin, the bootlicker pinned by the lady cop. That's got to hurt for him, man. Maybe he'll give her the old salute on the way out nonetheless. Bootlicker sure does back the blue. And there's another pin. Tim Scott eliminated. I think that was maybe Katie Porter who did it. And the Woke Mobster coming out. So the Woke Mobster joins things. One of my favorites. I wish the Woke Mob was real because I'd like to cancel some folks. So Katie Porter, and do your own research going out there. Katie Porter is 5th one out. She's still out there somehow. And we're going to get our last person with the next buzzer. Woke Mobster going after Eric Adams. Dark Brandon swinging a pipe. Tech Lord and Katie Porter, and do your own research. Katie Porter's busted open in there. Marjorie Taylor Greene tossed. I didn't even see what happened. Looked like she was on that top rope and might have got knocked off. But she's gone. And our last entrance tonight, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. And he had 4 points coming into tonight. So really just eliminate a single person. He should do it. And usually when these folks come out last, there's only 5 or 6 people. But we've got 11 folks in there. Well, there's a pin attempt going on, just a 2. And it looks like Ron DeSantis got pinned when Clarence Thomas was coming out. So Ron DeSantis is gone. So we got 10 folks, actually. Katie Porter, been out there for a long time. Tulsi Gabbard, the Tech Lord, Justin Jones, do your own research of the Lady Cop, Eric Adams, Dark Brandon, the Woke Monster, and Clarence Thomas. 10 folks. Katie Porter's busted wide open. She's been out there a long time, folks. These 10 folks looking to be the final 4 to get those bonus points and make it to next week. I would think making that final 4 would put them in for sure. Somebody like Clarence Thomas had 4 points, so just a single elimination will probably get him into next week. But again, the more points you get, the higher up that leaderboard you are, the later you come out next week to give yourself a better chance to be the champion. And Dark Brandon pins the Lady Cop, uses executive privilege there, and gets rid of the Lady Cop. So we are down to 9. And Eric Adams fighting that Lady Cop still, even though she's eliminated. Woke Mobster kicking Tulsi Gabbard. And there's a pin. Dark Brandon pins the Tech Lord. So Dark Brandon eliminated a couple folks. He might have earned his way into the finale. And Eric Adams with a 2 count on the Do Your Own Researcher. And Katie Porter's still out there, man. Hiding out in the corner, kind of recovering from getting busted open a little while ago. Picking her shots. Clarence Thomas is in there. Oh, Do Your Own Researcher just drops Katie Porter right on her face. Tech Lord not leaving. National Guardsman just hit him with a chair. And Eric Adams with a 2 count on Tulsi Gabbard. Katie Porter nails the Do Your Own Research. That chair only gets a 1 count. Woke Mobster and Justin Jones going at it over there. Oh man, devastating stomp on Katie Porter. Eric Adams should get the pin here. Get on her. And there's a pin on Tulsi Gabbard by Clarence Thomas, and Tulsi Gabbard is gone. So Clarence Thomas just eliminated her, and that's probably going to put Clarence in the final. We're down to 7. We've got a good one here tonight, folks. It's anybody's discourse. Katie Porter climbing that ladder. Clarence Thomas climbing as well. Katie Porter jumps down and Clarence Thomas falls. Do Your Own Research is busted wide open now. A crimson mask, and he's over the top rope. He gets back in. That not an FBI agent fell off that ladder outside the ring. Took a devastating tumble. Justin Jones going for the pin on Katie Porter. Just a 1 count. Eric Adams and Clarence Thomas. German suplex pin, only a 1 count. Dark Brandon beating on folks with that bat. But then Katie Porter grabs Dark Brandon and submits him. Dark Brandon submits to Katie Porter. And then Katie Porter jumps on Justin Jones. What is going on here, man? There's 5 people left. And Katie Porter's been out there since the 5th person, the very beginning almost. And she's out there. So we got Katie Porter, that Do Your Own Researcher, and they're going at it. The woke mobster, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and Clarence Thomas. And Thomas is pinning Adams, only a 2 count. I'm going to say Thomas is probably in next week's finale, but could use the points. Everybody else just needs whatever points they can get. One more person eliminated in the Final 4 will be in next week, but of course, the more points you get, the later you get to come out. Man, I'm looking forward to that finale next week already. Twitter communist, the police state reply guy, that legacy blue check trying to win his second Rumble of the Discourse season. Police state as well. Both of them will be trying to win their second time. And only our 3rd actual season. We did this for a while before we had seasons. Of course, fall of 2022, we started having 7-week seasons, and it's really given us a bit more format, a bit more structure. Of course, this 6-week is always kind of the play-in to the final. And Katie Porter just drops Eric Adams, and she goes for the pin. Nobody's there to make the count, though, and there we go. And that's a 2. Only a 2 count. If they had gotten over there for the pin a little quicker, I think she would have eliminated him. Got to give it to Katie Porter. She's showing something tonight. I found her kind of annoying sometimes. Found her intriguing at first. She was calling people out, but then that kind of became her shtick, and it got kind of annoying. I think when she was at that one session where she was reading the book about not giving a fuck, I was like, oh, okay, that's a little too much. You're a little too self-aware there. And she's over the top rope, but she gets back in, so she's still in it. Thomas just nails her with that kendo stick. So our Final 5, we've got a long one here tonight. All these folks trying to make it to next week, man. They're all fighting tough, fighting hard, and keeping themselves in the middle of the Discourse. And there's a roll-up on the Do Your Own Researcher. That's a 2 count and a kick out. Woke Mobster almost had him. And now Eric Adams got Clarence Thomas, just a 1 count. Do Your Own Research drops that Woke Mobster, goes immediately for the pin. And that's 3. The Woke Mobster is out. So the Woke Mobster is eliminated. So we are down to our Final 4. Katie Porter, the Do Your Own Researcher, Eric Adams, and Clarence Thomas. All 4 of these most definitely going to be in next week's finale. And man, Katie Porter's been out there for a while. Clarence Thomas, Eric Adams, they were later. Clarence Thomas is the last to come out, so he's the freshest. And you can see it. He's right on that Do Your Own Researcher. Do Your Own Researcher and Katie Porter have seemed to end up going at each other. Do Your Own Researcher has hit Katie Porter with that exact move a couple times already. Nobody can seem to get on her for the pin there. National Guardsman climbing that ladder for some reason, jumps off, and Eric Adams dropped on his face, reverse suplex there. Do Your Own Researcher going after Katie Porter again. Should have went for that pin, I think. National Guardsman knocked off that ladder by Eric Adams. Thomas in the corner. Do Your Own Researcher stomping Katie Porter. Thomas over the top rope. Him and Adams fighting. Adams kicks him. Thomas is holding on, but they're still going at it, and they're still fighting. Adams nails him again, and Thomas is eliminated. So Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, gets those 3 bonus points tonight for finishing 4th. Will be in our finale, but he's not going to win tonight. We're down to 3. New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who just drops California Congresswoman Katie Porter, and then the Do Your Own Researcher. Oh, man, devastating full Nelson slam on Katie Porter. He's got to pin her. But he doesn't go for it. He's a little groggy himself. The Discourse taking it out of everybody here tonight. And he does it again. That's got to be it for Katie Porter. That's one, that's two. And there you go. She kicks out. Katie Porter kicks out. I cannot believe she kicked out of that one. And she slams Eric Adams. I thought that was it for Katie Porter, man. She is showing some heart here tonight. Oh, the Do Your Own Research has got that arm lock on her. This might be it for her. Oh, that arm is bending backwards horribly. She gets out of it. Eric Adams dancing. He's feeling pretty good. And he gets a hold of her. Gets her up and has her in that abdominal stretch. That abdominal stretch, of course, one of the sexiest moves in wrestling. Do your own research on them, man. We're at the 37 minutes. We're 37 minutes into this thing, folks. This is a marathon Rumble of the Discourse in our Week 6 play-in towards next week's finale. Do your own research on Eric Adams. He got kicked into that chair, and he is out. Eric Adams eliminated. He gets the 5 bonus points, but he is eliminated. We are down to just the 2. Katie Porter and the Do Your Own Research are our final 2. I cannot believe Katie Porter, man. She came in 5th and is all the way here at the end. I mean, Do Your Own Researcher came in early on as well, not nearly as early as her. They've both been out there for a while. They both really want to make that finale. That is a definite. And we'll see who gets it here. They both got to be pretty exhausted by the amount of discourse, and this is going to carry over to next week. Both these folks are taking a beating tonight, and they got to come back out here next week and try to do this. Oh, man, and that reverse suplex on her face. Yes, well, he's not going for the pin. Do your own researcher. Katie Porter continuing to fight back and gets nailed with that bat. And then another slam on that arm bar. And he almost had her for another suplex, and she got it. Here it goes, right there, a spine breaker. And instead of going for the pin, he waits for her. He finally leaps in, stomps on that knee. Oh, a pile driver. That's got to be it. That's got to be it. Just a 1 count. Katie Porter kicks out again. What the hell is going on here? Katie Porter is refusing to lose. That Do Your Own Researcher nails her with a forearm smash. Has her in the corner. Stomping her. She's taking such a beating. And there's a punch over the top rope. And she's out. Katie Porter finally out. That Do Your Own Researcher does get the win. He jumps out the ring trying to get another shot at her. Yeah, he does. He hits her one more time. Do Your Own Researcher beats Katie Porter to win this thing tonight. And let's see that replay, folks. You can see that they are coming in the corner. Katie Porter is at the ropes, and Do Your Own Researcher just gets what looks like a normal shot, but it takes her over the top rope. So let's check our results from tonight. That Do Your Own Researcher, 15 points. He's at the top. Katie Porter with 11 points. She not only earned her way into the finale, but she earned it with authority. Eric Adams with 7. Clarence Thomas with 4. Greg Abbott, the Tech Lord, Dark Brandon got 2, and 8 others with 1. All these people needed points, and they probably needed more than 1 or 2 points. So we're going to see what happens next week with our field. In fact, let's look at our standings. After 6 events, that Twitter Communist is up top, 27. He will come out last next week, fitting that it's 27th because he'll be 27th entrant. Legacy Blue Check with 22. Reply Guy and Police State with 18. Do Your Own Researcher now up there with Elon Musk. Donald Trump and President Biden got 13. Katie Porter got 12, so she only had 1 point coming in tonight. Let's see the rest of them, Bob. Yeah, okay. Eric Adams with 11. The Leftist Gunboy with 10. Unabomber, Library Drag Queen, Clarence Thomas with 8. And you can see the rest of these folks that are 5 or above. And I think that's almost 27. We might have a couple people more than that. What do you think? What is it, Bob? About That's 22. So we'll have 5 other people with 4 points come out as well next week. As always, folks, this Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse 7-week series is sponsored by my Southern Gothic Futurist Patreon. I cannot tell you enough to support my Patreon. What is a Patreon? Well, you've heard people doing Substacks now or whatever. Patreon is one that's been around for a few years. Basically the same thing. You pay to subscribe. You get various benefits. But for the most part, you just support all I do with Southern Gothic Futurism, my haiku slams, these Monday Night Rumbles of the Discourse, everything that Raven Mac the Dirt God does. You are throwing some support into it, and you don't have to. You can just follow it and get the free. I do some public posts that are available freely as well, because I just enjoy engaging with you, and I enjoy interacting with folks. Well, that's not necessarily true. I just need money, man. I'm fucking broke, man. Trying to survive capitalism like everybody, so I'm prostituting myself and compromising my morals on the internet. Hell yeah, baby. That's what we do. It's 2023. We are living in the most mundane dystopia possible. Anyways, we'll be back here at Catburn Arena next Monday night for our 7th week finale in the championship of the spring 2023 Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. And until then, folks, salam.